Who do you think you're fooling? Who are you fooling? Is it me? Them? Are you fooling yourself? How long are you going to keep pretending? How long do you think you can maintain this charade? Because deep down, you already know you're not being honest. You say you want authenticity, but you keep playing a role. So who are you really? And why are you hiding it? Are you afraid something deeply vulnerable about you may be uncovered? Maybe it's all the goals you've abandoned, all the times you quit before reaching what you wanted, the moments you felt like a failure. We all have those, yet hiding them doesn't make us more real. Being authentic doesn't mean being perfect. It means showing up as you are, flaws, doubts, and all, and owning it. That's the first step in closing the gap between who you are and who you pretend to be. When we finally see that everyone struggles, we no longer need to hide our own struggles. It's just unnatural, and people see through it. That's when we're ready for the second step. Taking action to live fully as who we truly are without the lies. Because once you understand that everyone has flaws, doubts, failures, and things they don't want exposed, the pressure to keep pretending starts losing power. You realize you were never the only one carrying something. You were just acting like you had to hide it better than everyone else. And that is where the gap starts to close. The gap between who you are and who you pretend to be. That doesn't mean you suddenly start telling everyone everything. It doesn't mean you start exposing every part of your private life just to be authentic. What it means is you stop lying to yourself first. You stop pretending you're okay with things you're not okay with. You stop calling it confidence when it's really just a performance. You stop calling it peace when it's really avoidance. That's where real honesty begins, not in how much you reveal to the world, but in how clearly you're willing to see yourself. This is where people confuse privacy with pretending. You don't owe everyone your full story. You don't have to explain every scar, every failure, every insecurity, or every part of your past just to prove you're being real. Privacy is a choice. Pretending is a prison. And most people know the difference, even if they don't admit it. You can feel when you are being quiet because something is personal. And you can feel when you're being quiet because you're scared of being seen. That difference matters because authenticity is not about exposing yourself. It's about no longer abandoning yourself just to be accepted by other people. When you begin practicing honesty, start with small, everyday interactions. Pause before you agree to something just to avoid conflict. Speak honestly, even if it's just a small boundary you're setting. Check in with yourself daily. Ask, am I saying yes when I mean no? Then choose one conversation each week where you tell the truth, even if it's uncomfortable. Over time, these small steps build trust with yourself and others. Remember, honesty is a daily practice, not a single moment. Each time you choose truth, you close the gap between who you are and who you pretend to be. And soon you'll realize that being honest, even in small ways, gives you a sense of freedom. You don't have to keep track of who you're pretending to be. You just show up as you are. This alignment with yourself is where real confidence grows. Stay patient, stay consistent, and remember, that every honest choice is one step closer to who you really are. Next time someone asks how your day is, don't default to a polished answer. Instead of saying, "I'm fine," or inventing some positive spin, take a breath and just be real. Try something like, "I am juggling a few things, but for the most part, it's just a normal day and probably not much different than yours." Or when someone asks if you're okay with something, don't just say yes to keep them at peace. If you're not okay with it, say that. If someone asks what you want, don't just shrink your answer to make it easier for them. Say what you actually mean. If someone crosses a boundary, don't laugh it off just to avoid making the room uncomfortable. Be calm, but be clear. If you made a mistake, don't hide behind excuses. Own it. Say what happened, what you learned, and what you'll do differently. These moments might seem small, but this is where honesty is practiced, not in some dramatic confession, but in the normal moments where you usually perform. Every honest response trains you to trust yourself again, because you are no longer abandoning your truth for someone else's comfort or approval anymore. That's how small honesty creates big shifts. So ask yourself honestly, who are you when nobody is watching? Who are you when there is nothing to prove? Who are you when you stop trying to manage how everyone sees you? Because that version of you is not something you need to create. It's something you need to stop hiding. The lies may have protected you before, but they cannot lead you forward. At some point, pretending stops being protection. It becomes the very thing keeping you disconnected from yourself. And once you see that clearly, you have a choice to make. Keep performing for acceptance, or start living from the truth you already know. Not perfectly or all at once, but honestly. Because every time you choose truth over performance, you stop abandoning yourself for approval. You return to who you were before the act began. And it is in that return that you create yet another opportunity to awaken and evolve.